Guys, it is officially earnings season. So I just want to make a quick video going day by day over the next week of which companies are reporting, which ones I'm most interested in watching. I'll probably do a bunch of reaction videos to lots of these earnings throughout the week. But I just wanted to go day by day, look at everyone who's reporting, give my high level thoughts. We can look at some stock charts. But I want to hear from you guys too. What companies are you excited to hear from over the next week? Are you looking to buy any companies going into earnings, coming out of earnings if the numbers are good? Let me know below in the comments. And if you like this type of content, we do lots of stock analysis, portfolio discussions, business news, reactions, stuff like that on the channel. So make sure to hit the subscribe button in the bottom corner. But yeah, let's get into this. So today is Thursday, January 19th. So these earnings already happened today. The big guys going today were Netflix, who crushed their earnings. I just did a separate video on that. But they gained tons of subscribers. Stocks up 7% after hours, even though it was down 3% on the day. So it's a bit over, not fully represented in just after hours. And then P&G also reported today. I think they had pretty mute numbers, nothing too exciting, down a couple percent. Not too big of a deal. Other companies, just scrolling through, we got a lot of banks here. No companies that I'm overly interested in personally, but tons of companies have started to report. Wow, a lot of companies. So definitely getting into it in terms of earnings seasons here. Tomorrow, Friday. Usually Friday's a pretty light day, even during earnings seasons. Ally Financial, don't own this stock, but just I think the broader financial sector has been hit really hard. So that's probably one I'll at least take a peek at to see how Ally does. Take a quick look at their stock chart here. Oh wow, yeah, they've gotten they've gotten hit. Yeah, so I don't know too much details about the company, but if that's truly their trailing PE, it seems like they're having some huge PE compression on their business, down 50% over the last year, despite always trading at below a 10. So we'll see what they report, how their stock reacts. That's one that I'll probably just take a peek at tomorrow at the end of the day. But other than that, nothing really on Friday that's interesting to me. Going over to Monday, scrolling through here, once again, lots of banks. Nothing that I'll probably go out of my way to check out, but lots of companies reporting. Let me know if there's any stocks you own here that are reporting. Would love to look into anything that anyone's really interested in. Bank of Hawaii, some other companies, Baker Hughes, pretty big company reporting. Going over into Tuesday. Now, lots of companies here that are interesting to me. Starting off with Microsoft, decent sized position for me. Lots going on with the company. Interesting to look at their sentiment on the process of acquiring Activision Blizzard. That'll be interesting to hear about. Also, there's been some rumors swirling around, internal documents leaked from Google projecting their Azure business isn't doing well and their profits are overstated. Will be interesting to see how they position the narrative around Azure and what kind of numbers Azure does in terms of revenue growth, given the amount of the business that is, or the amount of the value that is kind of reflected by that part of the business. So definitely one that I'm very interested in. They also just acquired, increased their stake in OpenAI, which owns ChatGPT. Will be interesting to see them talk about how they plan to leverage that acquisition for their broader business. So lots going on with this company. Definitely going to be one of the more interesting ones throughout earnings seasons. J&J, don't own the company, but J&J is such a massive company that's always good to know what they're up to, how things are going. I believe they're spinning off their consumer division at some point, maybe this year. So we'll be interested to see if they say anything more about that. But yeah, we'll probably take a peek at that one. All the big telecom companies, I like knowing what's going on. So Verizon, I'll probably check in on. Canadian National Railway is one that I do own. I'll definitely be keeping my eyes peeled, or I'll probably listen to that earnings call. 3M having a lot of lawsuit issues, so I'm gonna check out that one as well, just from afar out of interest. Looking at those ones, or I can look at the U.S. code here. Canadian National Railway has held up very well over the last year, despite being kind of tied to the economy, essentially flat, given the market down 20%. I'd say that's pretty damn well. And over 5 years, they've done really well as well, up over 50%, excluding the dividend. 3M, on the other hand, I think has struggled pretty mightily, both short term, if I go past one, down over 30%, wow, and then past 5 too, down 50%. So they've run into a lot of issues at this company. I think they have, I forget exactly what the lawsuit's pertaining to, but definitely something tied to a lot of deaths based off of something that was put in one of their products. And there's a lawsuit that just keeps expanding and expanding in size that investors clearly don't want to be involved in here. So it'll be interesting to see what they say about that, as well as how their core business is doing. Travelers Company, Capital One, ones I'll probably take a peek at, but not overly interested. Wow, huge earnings day on Tuesday. Oh, we got a second page here. Yeah, once again, nothing too major on that page. But yeah, I'd say definitely Microsoft, CNR, Verizon, some of the companies on Tuesday that I'll be taking a look at. On Wednesday, so Tesla, I don't own Tesla. I'm not a huge fan of the stock, at least. But given how much this one's kind of trended down, I'll watch with popcorn from the sidelines to see how they perform and any commentary that they provide investors. Stock moves like crazy, down 62%, but still they're probably up 500% past 5 years. So this company's a roller coaster. It'll be interesting to see, given the recent decline in the stock price, past 6 months down 50%, what kind of narrative they have on their call, if they try to have a very positive sentiment, get the stock price back up, or how things go there. AT&T, I own a small stake in that company, mostly just a valuation play on their multiple. I like the dividend, so I'll probably check in there to see how they do and if the valuation on that company is still as attractive as the last time I looked at it. Going down, CSX, I like the railroad space, so that's one that I'll probably just look at top line numbers. Kimberly-Clark, good consumer benchmark company. I'll take a look at their numbers. Las Vegas Sands, will be interesting to see how the strip's doing. Get a good sense on if the consumer is weakening, stuff like that. So may peek at their numbers too. Let's take a look at Las Vegas Sands. See how they're doing over the last little while. So if I go back 6 months, wow. So my guess, I'm not sure where their exposure is, but my guess is that they have a bit of Macau exposure. All the companies with Macau exposure have really blown up over the last couple of months as they've opened the economy. They've signed renewed deals with U.S. companies to operate there, stuff like that. So I'm assuming this is behind Macau to some degree. If I'm not, someone can correct me in the, oh yeah, Macau eases up 12% that day. So no one's going to correct me in the comments. But I guess this is not really a byproduct of recent results, more so just positive news for the future. So it'll be interesting to see how they're actually doing on a quarter-to-quarter basis, given how reliant they are on discretionary spend. Levi's, another good consumer company to take a look at. Lots of these companies I'm not familiar with, so just kind of skipping through in case I see something overly interesting. Yeah, nothing much. So definitely a couple big guys on Wednesday. AT&T, Las Vegas Sands, some of those guys I'll probably take a pretty good look at, just out of interest on that day. Going into Thursday, okay, Thursday, Visa's one that I'll definitely um, be waiting for. Very interested to see their results. I made a video on why I'm planning on buying a lot more Visa stock in 2023. The stock's gone up about 10% since then, of course, unfortunately. But depending on where we're trading next week, maybe I'll add a couple shares before earnings just in case the stock lights up after earnings for some reason. And I feel like I'm kind of priced out at adding for the year after wanting to make it one of my bigger bets on the year. And if it goes down, they'll keep buying back shares. I'm sure they'll keep doing decent as a business, and I'll keep adding to my share count in that case. So it's really a win-win to average into the stock over short to medium term for me, given my perspective on the business. Their competitor MasterCard also reporting. I haven't looked into MasterCard as much. I get the sense you're investing in the same business essentially. I think Visa's a bit bigger, a bit more global. If someone knows the difference between MasterCard and Visa, please let me know in the comments if there's significant differences. That would be something I'd be interested in being aware of. But we'll take a peek at their numbers. I'm assuming the two companies will essentially have very similar performance. Comcast in the media space, that one will be really interesting. Be interesting to see if they say anything about Hulu and the status of either selling or buying Hulu, given their kind of agreement with Disney right now. But also it'll be interesting to see how their linear TV business is doing, and so on and so forth. So I'll probably take a peek at that one, even though I don't own it. Sherwin-Williams, another kind of home renovation consumer stock. Probably peek to see how their stock reacts to their numbers. We got Dow there. Southwest Airlines. I think they had a a bit of a consumer blow up and lots of delays. So they said it will have a material impact on earnings. Will be interesting to see how material and if the stock or the street rather underestimated. That one has the potential to move up or down in a big way depending on it. T. Rowe Price, another financial, I believe. So that one will be interesting to see too, just as I'm kind of looking at the financial space more and more as a valuation sector for this year. And then McCormick and Company. I've seen this one get hammered a bit over the last couple weeks, but I'm not close to the company in terms of the drivers. I know they own like Frank's Red Hot Sauce, lots of different types of spices and sauces. Okay, not down as much as I thought. Okay, yeah, so pretty bad year to date given so far in 23 the market's up. Just trying to see if there's any obvious drivers. Nothing alarming. But the company's always traded at a pretty rich valuation, so they may have had some signs of slowing down, some valuation compression. But that'll be an interesting consumer stock to look at as well, to see how they're doing. Go through, see if anything else is jumping off the page for us here. JetBlue, another airline that lots of people are probably aware of. Nothing else here really jumping off the page. And then wrapping up next week on Friday. So on Friday, Amex, that'll be interesting. A bit of a different business model than MasterCard and Visa, so maybe a bit different results. Talking about consumer companies, Church & Dwight, Colgate, those are ones I'll probably peek in on just to see how they're doing. I imagine they'll have very similar sentiment as P&G did today, given the types of businesses they're all in. Yeah, but I think those are the main ones. I guess we can look at a couple of these ones here. Amex, see how they've been doing so far this year. Down date today, but oh wow, so it looks like they haven't really been following the same trend as as Visa and MasterCard over the last month or so, maybe more of a consumer story behind Visa and MasterCard. Amex is more, they do have consumers obviously, but more business travel as well as hiring consumers, as I believe. Higher budgets, paying for cards, getting superior benefits and rewards, stuff like that. It seems like they haven't taken part in the recent increase. The stocks held up very well still. Very similar unit economics, which is very lucrative. So they've performed really well despite inflation and stuff like that. And then I think one of the other ones there for next Friday is Colgate. This company I feel is traded in the same range for years, just out of interest. Yeah, going back, stock price was about the same in 2019. So it's been 3.5 to 4 years, just going up 5%, down 10%, getting 2.5% dividend. Pretty big company, but the thing about Colgate, I believe they're pretty global, so you're getting a lot of global exposure. They've probably been held back from a lot of growth recently because of FX impact, being a U.S. company operating all over the world. So it'll be interesting to see what they say about that dynamic of their business, and also just the overall consumer. So yeah, we got lots going on the next week. Just going back based off of what we looked at, some of the main ones I'm looking forward to, definitely Visa next Thursday, a week today. On Tuesday, Microsoft is another big one. And then those other ones that just interested in how the consumer is doing, some of those consumer companies, some of those telecom companies. Should be a really interesting week ahead of us. I want to know, what stocks are you guys really looking forward to in terms of earnings reports this week? Are you guys also looking at Microsoft, Visa? Or are there other ones on this list, or maybe some that this list missed that you have circled on your calendar? Let me know in the the comment section below. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to subscribe, like the video. We got lots of content coming over the next few weeks and months. Really thank you guys for tuning into this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.